What got you this far will not take you the rest of the way. Or will it? So there's two interesting sort of points of view to consider on this question of whether what got you here will take you to the next level. So one point of view is that if there's an activity that is helping your company to grow and you stop doing it, and then your growth stagnates or you start to actually shrink, you can say, what's the deal? Why is my company not thriving? It's like, oh, I stopped doing the thing that was working. So that's like one way to to approach that question. The other way is when you do. I think it's also possible for it to work the other way, which is you have a certain input. In other words, you take a certain action in your business and you grow up to a certain point, and then your growth stalls. And at that point, you could also say that, or you could say that unless what got you here won't take you to the next level, because you've fully utilized that one strategy, and it's no longer going to give you results past that level. So I think it's very possible for both those things to be true. And I think it's probably one of the challenges if you're experiencing like a stall or a plateau in your business. That's something to check, right? So is it just that we've stopped doing something that made us successful in the past? Have we, essentially in business, you need to think about inputs and outputs. So an output of your business essentially could be sales, growth, the size of your revenue increasing, the size of your employee. And I would say the size of your workforce is more, the size of your, the number of people you're employing is more an input than an output, actually, I would say. So, so let's just keep it simple. Output we're gonna define as sales and profits, and then inputs is everything that goes into creating sales and profits. So it is, I think, possible to have something that's working. So it's working to build your company. Let's say it's a marketing or sales activity that you're doing, and as your company gets bigger, somewhere along the line you quit doing the thing. Maybe it's something in your sales process, and you're like, someone, you onboard a new sales manager. He's not been there from the get-go. He doesn't understand how it works quite. He has an idea for a new way to do it. He does the new way, and this key piece of the sales process that used to work for you very well no longer now is a part of your system, and sales plateau when they start dropping off. So that would be an example of you just failed to keep doing the thing that was working. However, I think it is true that many times in life, it is. I think both those really are legit challenges, right? Like, it can be challenging to keep doing the thing that works. Like, it can be very boring, it can be very unsexy. It's just the same thing you've always done, but it's working. And depending on your personality, you're like, give me something new, give me something shiny, right? So if you're one of those personality types, which many entrepreneurs I think naturally are, you're going to maybe be tempted to throw out the thing that was working and try something totally new. On the other hand, if you have more of the personality type of, if it's working, don't touch it. This is the way we've always done it, so we're always going to keep doing it. This helped me get to this level of success. Why would I ever quit that? I'm just going to stay doing that thing. And then when you plateau, if you plateau doing that thing, and then if you have one of those more the word that comes to mind is state. It's probably the wrong word, but the personality is such that you don't love change, you don't love switching things up. Then there you might have to really address this issue of, well, look, what got me here is not going to take me to the next level. And I think that's just kind of intuitively true, that it's easy to, the evolution of a business depends on a lot of factors. The growth of the business depends on a lot of factors. There's the market, being a huge one, and management being the other one, right? So market management. And market you cannot control beyond deciding what market to be in and how to approach that market, right? Which is positioning and marketing, right? But so there's market, there's management. Market, let's say you cannot control. Management, that's the only thing you have to control. Okay, that's the culture of the company. That's the actions you take to align your product with the market. It's your pricing. It's how you approach execution and all your hiring, all that stuff, right? So if you're not growing anymore, then you need to say, well, what could we change from a management perspective? I think the idea that I can change the market is, if you're Apple or Google, maybe you can change the market, right? For most of us, we're not heavyweights enough to change the market. The market is what it is. We need to figure out how to tap into the market. And so that comes down to management. So now management as a term, it may sound pretty boring, pretty stale, but you could claim it's actually pretty interesting stuff. And management is what you do, how you steward the opportunity you have, what you do with the resources you have. Really, the way for an entrepreneur to think about management is it comes down to resourcefulness, right? It's like, how do you allocate the capital that you have, whether it's the human capital, whether it is the time that you have, whether it's, of course, the financial capital, whatever it is, how you deploy that, that's your management. And so the more resourceful you can be with that, the better for your company. So I think that there's no one size fits all here, that if you're stalled, it's guaranteed to be which one of these things it's guaranteed to be. But I think you need to take a look in the rearview mirror and say, was there something I did that was working that I stopped doing? And then you also need to look a little more broadly, look forward and say, was there something that I need to do to get to the next level that I've not yet done? Is this plateau, is this caused because I'm not, in other words, is it caused because I don't have the tools I need, or I'm not taking the right strategy, the right actions to get to the next level, and I need to change something, right? Do I need to go back to the thing that I was doing, or do I need something new? So I think that's probably where a coach is really good sometimes for the new thing, maybe many times for the new thing. I don't really know. I guess I haven't done a lot of coaching or received a lot of coaching. But I think it would be good for that. But I think a coach might be especially good to say, what were you doing that worked and why aren't you doing that anymore? And then a coach might also be good to help you develop some awareness around if you need a different solution. And then, but many coaches are perhaps not, they're not necessarily trying to give you the specifics of how to do something necessarily. They're trying to help you think through, help you have better quality thinking. So to get to the next level, you might need a consultant. And the consultant could then, let's say this consultant has helped other companies get from where you are currently to the next level. They might be equipped with the actual tools and strategies that you need to get to the next level. So they might have the new thing, the thing that you don't have now, they might have that to get to the next level. So I think a coach or a consultant could both be really helpful, and I think probably in many cases, most of us should probably have both. We should probably have people that are giving us like really specific actionable stuff to do, and then we should also have people that help us reflect on the bigger picture and help us think higher quality thoughts about the way we're approaching life and business.